The fall of America's favorite beer gripped the country in 2023. Bud Light backlash was fierce when it partnered with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. There is a Cincinnati connection. Anson Freerichs grew up here and went to St. X High School. He was president of Anheuser-Busch InBev right before that and wrote a book about that chaotic time. He's live in our studio to talk about this book, Last Call for Bud Light. Anson, thanks so much for joining us live.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so Cincinnati is a connection, obviously, because you grew up here and now live here. But for that big chunk of time, you were president of Anheuser-Busch. How did you get to that point?
I don't know, maybe I'll give it to St. Xavier High School. I went to high school here, and so that gave me a good foundation, good base. After that, I was able to go to some good schools, good colleges, worked in finance, and joined Anheuser-Busch actually after business school, and I was there for about 11 years.
So you left right before this happened. Take me back to that marketing decision. Why do you think it was met with such backlash?
I think it was met with such backlash really because it wasn't authentic to the Bud Light brand. And I think the consumers who really trusted Bud Light to be about this funny, humorous, it was about sports, music. All of a sudden when Bud Light got involved with a very controversial political figure, all of a sudden people asked, wait, what is Bud Light for? Is this a brand like Ben & Jerry's that tends to lean more political and gets more involved in issues? Or is it just sort of this fun-loving beer brand that everybody once loved because it was particularly apolitical? And that was a big problem.
And at this point, how bad has the fallout been for Bud Light? I know you're on the outside kind of looking in, but you could kind of tell us some numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's been devastating for the company. They've lost $2 billion of profits over this. Thousands of employees have been fired. Suppliers have gone out of business. Their sales dropped 30% with Bud Light when this initially happened. They're now down about 40% from the time of this controversy. And the company's lost about $40 billion of market cap. So everything's been in the wrong direction.
How do they turn it around? What is next, or what should Bud Light do to make a comeback?
Well, I think that this Super Bowl was a step in the right direction. They had their commercials were around Budweiser Clydesdale horses.
Oh, the full, right?
The full, which was great.
Yes, it was very cute.
Bud Light, you had Shane Gillis, which is good. But I actually think this company needs to actually be sold back to American owners. About 15 years ago, there was a European company called InBev that bought Anheuser-Busch. They moved the headquarters out of St. Louis to New York City. They lost a lot of the marketing and really the great executives. I think it's about time that it's sold back probably to U.S. owners. I think the U.S. owners can probably get this back in the right direction.
So inside your book, who are you targeting with the book, and what could readers expect?
Yeah, I mean, it's really anybody who loves beer first and foremost. I know here in Cincinnati we have good, German roots, so a lot of beer drinkers here, but also business folks also. People that want to learn about how did Anheuser-Busch grow from this small, humble brewery in St. Louis, the biggest one in the country, how to get taken over, what went wrong, what are the PR lessons to learn. So there's a lot to learn in this book. I think people will really like it.
And it just launched too, right?
Just launched. It launched last week, so you can buy it live, and then also I'm going to be at Barnes & Noble in Kenwood next Saturday, February 22nd, doing a book signing from 3 to 5. So it'd be great to see people out there.
And you live in Cincinnati with your family now?
I live in Cincinnati with my family, married a great St. Ursula girl, so who followed me around for 20 years, and we came back here to Cincinnati to raise our kids.
Well, thanks for joining us here and chatting about your book. Last Call for Bud Light, as he said, is available in bookstores, and he has a book signing too in Kenwood. Thank you, Anson.
Thanks, Megan.
From breaking news to feel-good stories, Local 12 has it all. Tap subscribe and hit the links to find out more.